I'm back. That little voice inside your head. We both know going to Office Depot Office Max for 50% off print services is super smart. And your biz could use an Epson printer for $70 off. Now $79.99. Plus 50% off signs and banners? Oh, you deserve this. So let's go. Office Depot Office Max.
Taking care of business.
Offers end 11/18. Limit 1. Get 50% off coupon in-store or visit OfficeDepot.com/save.
There you go. Have you watched any college yet, or are you just strictly NBA?
I haven't watched any, man.
Gotcha.
I just have such a hard time watching the game. You know, like the game itself sucks. My
it's
opinion
fucking
on
brutal,
it,
man.
The coaches overcoach. What I'll do is, I like when these people put together the highlight reels of guys like Ayton or whatever, and I can watch those.
There you go.
And then I follow what you guys are writing, and I read that stuff, and then I just cram all the film in that I can, starting like May.
That's the way to do it. I mean, it's such a fucking drag. Like last night was good. The Duke Michigan State game was good, but even in that, like Duke played fucking 2-3 zone the entire time. It's like, come on, man. Can we just get more translatable shit? I don't care about the college game. Just give me something to work with here.
Yeah, I would like to ban zone at every level of basketball. Like I want that to be illegal defense, like everywhere. My guys and girls that I coach, we had our first scrimmage last night, and the offense that I run, it's the same against the zone or against man.
Yeah.
But against zone, you just don't do anything. You just literally you stand in a spot and you pass the ball, and that's it. And it gets just open shots all day.
Yeah.
And they don't move. We were inbounding and they were in a 2-3 zone. Like, how are those kids learning to play basketball? They're not learning how to play basketball. They literally were in a 2-3 zone. So, when I've got a 4-low inbound play, I've got a person in each corner, and both of them were wide open. I literally told my inbounder to just take turns giving them shots. Because it's dumb, man. You're not teaching kids how to play basketball. It sucks. It sucks.
It's befuddling to me when Carlisle runs 2-3 zone. It's like they always give up a corner three, or they give up some kind of wing three. And I don't understand like the process. I know they play 2 point guard lineups a lot and they can't defend, and they're always at a size disadvantage. But you're just like you're giving up a three freaking every time.
Yeah, but you can go to a 3. I mean, a 3-2 zone makes more sense than a 2-3 in the NBA.
Agreed. That's what college. A lot of the good college teams do that. That's what they do against like the dynamic point guards. We saw a lot of that coverage against Dennis Smith and Fultz last year. It was a pain in the fucking ass because it took away middle pick and roll.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did it tactically.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is the amoeba, which nobody really runs at all now.
Yeah.
The amoeba actually would work pretty well. But I just hate it. Like, let's just play man to man. And then, when you've got the size disadvantage, these guys are good athletes. Just have them front the bigger guy, and make the pass hard, because that's the one. The thing about the AAU system that is a legit complaint is guys don't know how to throw a post entry pass. So there is no such thing as a taking advantage of a mismatch in the post, at least at the college level. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, we saw even last night Kentucky. I think they were trying to front the post, and there was no weak side help. So they were just allowing the catch over the top, and there was nobody rotating down. So Azubuike was just dominating them. It was ridiculous. It's just shit basketball.
It sucks, man. And what's funny is that the women's college basketball game, such a better product.
Really?
Yeah. So the rule changes that they instituted, I think it was last year, makes the game flow so much better. Like they got rid of live ball timeouts. I think. Did they?
Okay.
I think they did.
I don't know.
Am I crazy? Anyway, the game's just more fun. Just get rid of the zone. The zone sucks. It sucks so fucking bad. It's so hard to watch. And, when you're looking at these guys, like you said, it just doesn't translate to the NBA at all. You have to really pick and choose the spots that you watch when you're looking at film, when you want to see if a guy is good on defense.
Oh, yeah. Like last night, I had to comb through the entire film again this morning to find out like one sequence while Wendell Carter was in space defensively, just because he was in zone the entire time and he just didn't move his feet. But he walled off Langford on one baseline drive, retreated backwards. And I was like, okay, I thought he could move in space. I saw it at McDonald's, but you just haven't seen very much of it because they're playing even like 3 big lineups with Bagley, Bolden, and Carter in the back line. It's like, what are you fucking supposed to do with that? He's just standing like on the wing. Sometimes he'll close out, and that's it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying strategically it isn't smart.
Yes.
Because it is, just like if you were coaching youth basketball and you had a kid that was like 6 feet tall and everyone else is 4.5 feet tall. I get it. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to just stick him at the basket.
Yep.
It doesn't
Duke
make
won
it
last night. They beat
less.
Michigan State last night because they played zone. I mean, they won the game because of their zone. So I get why they did it tactically. It just, for selfish reasons, it sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't make it fun to watch. I mean, but they don't give a shit. I don't care. Cole Zwicker, welcome back to the show. Today, the big topic of conversation on Twitter is this article from The Ringer that essentially is painting Markelle Fultz as a little bit of a bust, or at least a bust candidate after 4 games.
Oh God!
And you've got now a lot of people popping up saying, "Hey, it's too early. Like we should wait until the All-Star break to start judging these rookies." And I actually disagree. I don't even think the All-Star break is enough time. I think it's never too early to criticize process. So, like Markelle Fultz's shot form, that's worth criticizing today. But whether like Lonzo Ball is making shots or not, it's too early for that. Are you with me on this?
Absolutely. I mean, my whole philosophy is I don't deal in absolutes. So I don't deal in like those general good, bad, bust. I just observe. I think you can make observations. But like with Markelle, this is not Markelle Fultz. This is like this is the ghost of Markelle Fultz. If he doesn't have his jump shot, that's his best quality.
Absolutely.
In college, he was a dynamic pull-up jump shooter. If he doesn't have that, then the rest of his game, he's got a great handle on all that stuff, but that's unearthed by the threat of his shot. So he's not been the same guy. So how can you really call him a bust if we haven't really seen him yet?
Yeah, like without his jump shot, he's not a starting NBA player.
No,
at all. I mean, that's just how it is. And I caught a lot of flack from Lakers folks last week, but I think some people understood what I said. Lonzo Ball today is not a starting level player, but he's a rookie. No. That's not to be like that's to be expected. Like I think his floor is a backup, which people think is disrespectful, but no, that's a pretty high floor. Like Anthony Bennett's floor was not even a backup, right?
No, there was no floor. He's a trapdoor guy. But I mean, lead ball handlers, people have to understand it's so hard to come into the league and be like the primary creator in your team. Lonzo, for example, 40% of his possessions this year are in pick and roll. You know what that number was in college? 10%.
Right.
60% of his offense at UCLA was off transition, spot ups, or cuts. High efficiency situations.
He had like 29 pick and roll possessions in college.
Yes, it was not like he never created for himself. We saw like the lack of handle. He has issues in his game. He has skill voids with handle, pull-up shooting, and he's being asked to do that at a really high rate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can't really expect him just to come into the league and be like an all-star caliber player. People don't change overnight. That was the same thing with Chris Dunn last year. It's like, oh, he's super athletic. He'll figure out the decision-making, the handle, the shot. He didn't figure out any of that stuff because guess what? Players just don't change overnight.
Exactly. And Lonzo really would have benefited from some player development over the summer. And he didn't get it. And I don't know I don't know whether that's typical for Lakers rookies or not, but that shot is going to have to be reworked because of the way he gathers the ball. The shot itself is fine, but the way that they want to use him offensively, like they're not using him like UCLA did where he was weak side almost exclusively. And being able to make that next pass, and also he's catching with so much space. So what I wanted to talk about with you was why rookies struggle. Like, why is the transition from the NCAA where they're playing against talented basketball players? They're better than the majority of the people on the planet. Why do they struggle so much? And what is like the number one thing that you point to?
I just think it's the speed of the game and kind of processing plays as they go along. Guys are picking and choosing. I mean, I made that post about Dennis Smith, which we've had some conversation about on Twitter today. And it's like reading the play, he has to find that balance between attacking the rim to score and attacking the rim to kick out, and it's hard for guys to process that on the move when it's already flying around, your head's turning a million miles an hour. So that takes a while to kind of slow down, especially again, when you're a primary ball handler. Those guys, it just takes a while. Like Tatum has been fantastic this year, but I think that's a lot to do with being put in positions to succeed. Like he's playing within the team construct. He's playing next to two guys that are high level creators. Al Horford's been awesome this year as like a playmaking five. Then you have Kyrie as the primary. So it's easier to fit into a scheme in that kind of way. It's just when when you have to give like these 19, 20-year-olds high usage on ball creation, nobody's ever good at that except for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and Ben Simmons had a year.
Yes.
That year of seasoning where he wasn't playing, but he was around the team, understanding concepts. He was sitting courtside, for a lot of games. And, he also was practicing when he was healthy. That stuff matters, which is why I think the NBA will eventually get rid of the age restriction on the draft. And they may actually, you may see more teams drafting guys straight out of high school and having them do like a red shirt year. I think that's the next wave. Is
interesting.
It can add a year to your tank if a guy is really good. It can add a year to your tanking, but also it allows these guys a season. I mean, we've now seen so many guys. I mean, Embiid, missing time and then comes in and is ready to go from day one. Ben Simmons, same thing. It's just, Jabari Parker looked what I thought was more athletic after a year of NBA conditioning and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be a thing. And now I'm not going to guarantee this because you might have a guy like LeBron that is like basically born ready. But yeah, I think that's going to be a thing because it allows you, like you said, to adjust the speed of the game. I think the other underrated part that people don't think about, everyone in the NBA is long.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. How many 6'7" guys were closing out on Lonzo Ball last year?
It's tough. And then at the rim, too. I mean, like when you have Gobert, like I think Dennis Smith had a stretch where he was like Gobert, Embiid, Anthony Davis. Each of those guys blocked a shot like 3 times. It's just totally different. You're not used to those kinds of caliber players. Some of the best rim protectors in college are like Luke Cornett out of Vanderbilt, who's like a fringe NBA player. And that was like one of the most dynamic rim protectors a guy like De'Aaron Fox went against last year. It's a totally different game.
Yeah, Jeff Withey was incredible at protecting the rim in college. I just think that there's so many things you have to get used to. Not only that, but on top of that, it's the lifestyle. It's the number of games. They're a game like 13, 14, something like that. That's half a college season. And it's the middle of November. So this is just, I just think, it is too early to judge the results. But focusing on the process is important. And when you look at like Lonzo, I mean, just because he's the most high profile guy, that gather was something that you and I have talked about for months. He struggles not only just going right, but anyway, because of the way he brings the ball across his body. It's going to have to be his shot form is going to have to be reworked because it doesn't work in the NBA as a ball handler, shooter.
Yes. Right. Yes, on ball, there's always been issues there, not just going right, but just under contests in general. Like you saw his best game this year overall was probably the Bucks game as far as performance-wise against a credible opponent, but that third game of the year against Phoenix before Earl Watson got fired, I mean, they were going under by like 5 or 6 feet in pick and roll. He was getting good shots and he was knocking them down. I still believe in his shot off the catch. I mean, I think he shot like 69 NBA threes at UCLA, which is unheard of. That's like 30 higher than Damian Lillard took his senior year of college. So I think he's comfortable and confident enough from there. But like you noted, it profiles much better as an off-ball player. And that's kind of what he was at UCLA. There was so much noise with his efficiency at UCLA, and people are like, oh, he can do this stuff. He's just choosing not to. It's like, no, like he has legitimate skill voids in his game that's going to take a while to adjust to.
Yeah. And again, people they're only looking at the numbers a lot of the times. Yeah. And they see, oh, he's shooting 25% on 5 threes a game. He's shooting 31% overall, 12 shots a game. He's playing 33 minutes a game and he looks bad. And that's fine, but it's just too early for that. Not everyone's going to be Ben Simmons.
Yeah, the whole good, bad thing, I think that's a dangerous way to look at things so early in the process. It's a very small sample. Again, nobody really comes into the league as a rookie and is good. I mean, you could say they're good relative to rookies, but relative to the league, how many actual impactful rookies are there? I think we're spoiled by guys like Embiid, Towns, and now Simmons. Those guys are like franchise caliber players. Like, you get one of those, maybe 2 in each draft. Right. Like for most of these guys, they're not contributing in that way, and they never will.
Yeah. And I mean, even recent history, Brandon Ingram's still figuring it out, and he was a second pick. And sometimes it takes longer. It's just, this, and part of this is content, right? Like we got to create content. That's what we're doing right now. We're going the other way though, right? Like we're making content
reasonable content.
Yeah, but we're going anti-content because we're making content of going against other people's content. And like, but my point is just patience is important, but that doesn't mean that we should stop making jokes.
Jokes are important.
Hey folks, Dave DeFore of On the NBA with Dave DeFore here. I'd like to talk to you about my friends over at Harry's, my go-to razor for a smooth, close, and comfortable shave. Almighty Baller Radio is the go-to network for NBA podcasts, but if you visit harrys.com/ballers, you'll get a free trial set from Harry's and find out why over 3 million guys have switched to Harry's. Harry's is all about a great shave at a fair price. With top quality blades made in a German factory with over 100 years of blade making experience. You get a close, clean shave every time, 100% guaranteed, and at half the price of the leading 5-blade razor. So go to harrys.com/ballers, BALLERS today. You'll get the free trial kit that has become my personal go-to every morning. A weighted, ergonomic razor handle, 5 precision-engineered blades with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, a rich lathering shave gel, and a travel blade cover. A $13 value, this is all yours for free when you sign up, just by covering the cost of shipping. You're supporting the network here at Almighty Baller, but you're also making a great decision for yourself. The decision to find out how Harry's has fixed shaving for the ordinary guy. Check out that URL, harrys.com/ballers. One more time, that's harrys.com/ballers to receive a free trial shave set for just the cost of shipping. You know, like, so Malik Monk, for instance, is in a great situation because he's a backup point guard, essentially, in Charlotte. He's got Kemba Walker. And when he got hot in that game against Milwaukee, he had a guy who could feed him the ball. He didn't have to go out and kind of sustain his heat. You know what I mean? That's really hard to do for a guy that doesn't understand the pace of a game.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was always a great situation in Clifford's scheme. I think they haven't used him off motion as much as I would have liked. I mean, he's playing more backup. I like to see him handling the ball just because he never really got a chance to do that at Kentucky. So it's good to see him operate in more space. He has not shot the ball well yet. I expect that'll change in time. He's just too dynamic of a shooter. But yeah, definitely a better situation fitting next to Kemba, having another high usage guy that can get him good looks. That's a huge part of the process.
Yeah. And Lonzo doesn't have that. And Josh Jackson, I don't think Booker's doing much to help him out. Yeah, that's about it.
Has anybody else really stood out to you as rookies as far as being lower on them now or higher on them now?
No, I mean, like, I was high on Kuzma going into the draft. I was lower on Tatum, but he's in like the most ideal scenario you could put a guy like him in.
Yes.
Ben Simmons looks like I expected him to look. And I tend to focus, and you and I talked about this last spring at Hoop Summit, I tend to focus on the skills rather than the results. So, you know, when I see De'Aaron Fox grab a defensive rebound and turn and get up court in 3 seconds, like that's a huge, like, my eyes get really big on that, right? Like the speed that he has. And then his ability, he's actually creating contact, which I didn't see him do a lot of at Kentucky. He's going in, creating contact, getting the balance, and going to finish. Like, I don't care that he's shooting 40%. Because I've seen
a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of those are long twos just in the scheme of their offense. They have so many long twos with how that offense is designed. They run a lot of 2 big lineups, a lot of horn sets. And Fox, there's nowhere to drive. I mean, some of that's on him because he's not a shooting threat. People are going to play way off of him. Smart defense is going to make him shoot that long two. I think he's hovering between like 37 and 39%. But unless you're CJ McCollum shooting 55% on those shots, they're not efficient shots for your offense. If that's the primary option for your ball handler. So he's going to have to translate to 3, in my opinion. I do agree with you. I like his aggression. He's always been kind of fearless attacking the rim. He'll attack bodies. I still don't see necessarily the balance against the rim protectors yet, but he hasn't really played against a lot of dynamic rim protectors. And when he does, I haven't seen the driving just because there isn't a ton of space. But his aggression in the open court, his speed, like you noted, he's pushing it down your throat every single chance he gets.
Yeah, well, I'm mostly talking about in transition. Like, he's not doing that in half court.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gotcha.
The biggest surprises to me have probably been, like, Dennis Smith only going to the free throw line, like, 2.8 times a game. Because he's so talented as a foul drawer. You know, like, he drew fouls in Summer League. Like, I mean, it was just an incredible rate, and I liked what he did in college. And then Donovan Mitchell just shooting the hell out of the ball, like not making it, but shooting the shit out of it. Like, that guy has not seen an open look or contested look that he hasn't loved so far. And then only going to the free throw line 2 times a game. And this is kind of a theme for rookies in general. Like, they don't get a lot of trips to the free throw line. But you would think with those two, especially with their athleticism and how much time they spend with the ball in their hands, they'd be going to the line a little bit more.
Yeah, the Mitchell thing is probably the most surprising thing for me as far as just his usage rate. I never really saw him as like a primary ball handler, but they just needed him so much in that role this year with all the injuries, and they just have their spacing's bad. Their offensive production overall is not that great. I mean, it revolves around ball movement. They don't have the individual shot creation. I just never really saw him profiling that way. I thought he was better used in like a more select secondary role. So his high usage has just been pretty insane.
I didn't think he was going to start. I thought he was going to come off the bench and be like their Jordan Clarkson sort of combo guard guy.
Yes.
Who could play next to Hood or next to Rubio. And
exactly.
Yeah, him starting has just been crazy, and it's been terrible for my Rodney Hood higher usage good numbers prediction. Donovan Mitchell's killing my my NBA predictions so far this year.
So I got to ask. I didn't read this Fultz bust article on the Ringer. I didn't even bother. So what was the general concept? Just enlighten me.
They were talking about game score and in your first 10 games, and which is funny because like he's only played 4 games.
Yeah.
So already it's kind of a shitty concept because they're talking about him in relation to this thing that is 10 games. So it's just weird, man, but it's clickbait season. And you know, I dare say if Jason Tatum had started out this poorly and Markelle Fultz, or if Markelle Fultz had been drafted by the Celtics, maybe things might have been a little bit different.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. You know what? Markkanen has been a surprise. I thought Markkanen was going to just be terrible from the jump, and he's actually been pretty good.
He's rebounding better than I thought he would. So
yeah,
that's good to see. Yeah.
I don't know why.
I agree. I think that he's impressed me more than I thought. I still have my reservations about him for sure. Mm-hmm. I like the way they're kind of using him offensively. They're leveraging his shooting pretty well, like these down screens with Lopez off pick and roll, getting him good looks, putting him on the weak side. Anthony Davis had some problems with him as far as pick and pop elements and stuff. So I like the way, I mean, their guards suck. So he's not optimized because like guys will just switch on to their guards and Chris Dunn's not really going to make you pay Cameron Payne, Jerian Grant. So it's not an ideal situation. But yeah, he's definitely impressed me more than I expected coming in.
You know, and we'll wrap up with this. Is this, and it's early, but it feels like this rookie class might be defensively the best rookie class we've had in as long as I can remember. Am I crazy for that? Like day one, more of these guys seem like they are on point with their defense than I can remember. I mean,
the Tatum thing really helps. I did not see Tatum defending this way. He's been a two-way player. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I expected Jordan Bell to defend like this. I think he's helped out. OG Anunoby, I definitely did if he got the time. He's looked much better offensively than I expected from the jump, and I was really high on him.
Where would he have gone if he was healthy?
Oh, boy. I think DX had him like 11, 12 range, I want to say. So I think he probably goes lottery. I had him 10, even with the health questions, just because there was so much defensive upside. But, I mean, he shot the ball a little bit better than expected from 3, and then his passing and everything. I know Zach Lowe's pointed him out a couple times. And if you get the low stamp of approval and you're a rookie, that's you're doing well for yourself.
Yeah. And then Frank Ntilikina has just been a revelation, man, defensively.
Oh, Oh, yeah, he really has. I mean, there were some athleticism questions with him, but he's just such a hard worker. I think he was athletic enough. I didn't see the dynamic of athleticism offensively as like a primary creator, lack of like elite burst, finishing rawness, but defensively he competes. He had like 6 steals against the Cavs the other night. So really good to see from him. I'm a big fan of his.
He's so physical, and he uses his arms. Like, you know, I said this, and people really took this the wrong way. Like, he reminded me of Giannis just because of the way he uses his body. Physical, a lot of arms, and people were like, well, his game doesn't look anything like Giannis. I was like, that is not what I meant at all. But when you watch Giannis play defense, I mean, he uses his whole body. It's not just his feet. He's using his arms a lot. And same with when he comes off the pick and roll, when he's driving, like his arm is clearing a lot of space. It's not quite a shove like Blake Griffin, but he opens up a lot of driving room with his arms. And I've seen that with Ntilikina. At least I saw it in his tape from France. But yeah.
He was a guy. He was a guy internationally where we thought coming into the draft he had the most athletic upside with this frame. Over time, he would add some strength, maybe add some burst. So a lot of people did compare him to Giannis as far as like that kind of physique. He's obviously not as big, and I don't think he's going to be the player that Giannis is, of course. But there were similarities.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Cole, hey, tell me about the Stepien real quick.
Yeah, it's just we created it about a week and a half ago. It's supposed to be like a one-stop draft hub, so we cover high school, college, NBA. I just wrote a piece on Ben Simmons, breaking down his current impact and kind of impact in the future, how he can reach his ceiling outcome, the avenues he can take to be a superstar. And so, yeah, we just cover all the profiles of the 2018 draft. We have probably 25 to 30 of those up so far. New pieces every day, so check out the Stepien.
Yeah, and everybody follow Cole on Twitter at Cole Zwicker, Zwicker. He's one of my 3 go-to guys for draft prospects and rookies because, you know, you, Weisenberg, and Sam Vecini are the 3 guys that I can just hit up whenever. Hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? Hey, I'm seeing this. Was this something that you noticed? You guys are my cheat sheet, so I appreciate all the hard work that you do so that I don't have to do it.
There you go, man. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
I'm back. That little voice inside your head. We both know going to Office Depot Office Max for 50% off print services is super smart. And your biz could use an Epson printer for $70 off. Now $79.99. Plus 50% off signs and banners? Oh, you deserve this. So let's go. Office Depot Office Max.
Taking care of business.
Offers end 11/18. Limit 1. Get 50% off coupon in-store or visit OfficeDepot.com/save.